Hey, what's up everybody? Joshua Casper back at you with Loopmasters, and it's time for another production basics tutorial. In this video, I'm going to talk about ghost sidechaining, how to get it done, and why you might want to use it. This is kind of a continuation on a series inside of a series. It's like Inception on sidechain compression. So if you haven't seen the other two videos I've done on this topic, definitely check it out. Go ahead and do a quick search or check the playlist for production basics here on the Loopmasters channel to watch those first. So you might have heard this term thrown around, and it's called ghost sidechaining. It sounds creepy, but it's actually quite simple to do and really quite useful. So I've got this project started right here, and these are all loops and samples and Midis from the Moombah Sessions sample pack by Singomakers. I'll leave a link to this pack in the video description if you like this style, if you like this flavor. You definitely want to check out the pack. But this is what it sounds like. So the issue here is I'm sidechaining this main synth to the kick. And what's happening here is the kick channel is here, and I've dropped the kick out for the rest of this particular section. And when that drops out, this synth is no longer sidechained to something, so the synth changes character. So let's see if you can hear the difference. So especially in the longer first note of the bar, where it's kind of a longer held clip or a longer held note, it completely brings back its attack. It sounds louder, it sounds more in your face, and it sounds different. So this is what I was talking about in those earlier videos where sidechaining is sometimes not used for mix purposes, but artistic ones. And this is one of those examples. I want that to still be sidechained, but I also don't want there to be a kick here. And that's where the ghost sidechain comes in. So to get a ghost sidechain, essentially just go ahead and duplicate your kick, right? And put it at the top and rename it ghost. Okay, and then go ahead and just extend that all the way over. Now this is much easier to do when you have a 4 to the floor or 4x4 or something similar that's very repetitive, because you just got to drag it across the entire project, and that way it will always be like that. Breakbeats can be a little bit more complicated, so this is very simple, very basic. And what I want to do now is unsolo this and just turn off that channel. I don't want this audio to double up. I don't want it to be here. I just want it to be happening but not coming through the sound system. And then what I want to do is come into my synth channel here, and instead of sidechaining audio from the kick, I want to sidechain it from the ghost. I can keep all of my other settings the same and watch what happens now. Boom, the sidechain is still happening even though the kick's not happening, and that's because we're taking the information from the ghost, and the ghost channel is off, so we don't hear that information, but the compressor does and analyzes it and utilizes it. So that's what ghost sidechaining is. Now you need to be careful with this, because if, let's say I made some sort of, different type of pattern right here, and, blah, 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 and did something like this, maybe duplicated this part, this would no longer be the signal that was being sidechained. It would still only sidechain from the ghost channel here, and these changes would not be reflected. So if I'm like sidechaining my bass to the ghost for mix level purposes, where I'm trying to move the bass frequencies out of the way to make room for the kick, and I double up on the kick right here and not in the ghost sidechain, then I'm not going to be sidechaining that information. And as you can see right here, there's going to be two main conflicts right here, right here. They're not going to get sidechained, and that means I've made a mistake and it's going to sound like crap if I don't catch it. So if you ever make any changes in your kicking system that need to be reflected in your ghost, you need to remember that. If you don't, you're going to run into issues. So again, something like 4 to the floor is pretty simple to do. It's pretty easy to remember. Like if I double up here, I got to double up here, and that's what ghost sidechaining is all about. That's just a quick tip on what ghost sidechaining is, if you've heard it thrown around and you're wondering what it was, how to set it up, and what it's used for. So anyway, I'm Joshua Casper here for Loopmasters. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video.